Hey guys, happy to get to you again for another midweek video. Wanted to give you a couple of announcements of what's happening. Some of you may not be aware, but we are starting a church-wide fast starting tomorrow. And what that's going to look like, we're really fasting for two things. One, that we would hear God's voice and be led by his voice in times like this, whether it's the social and racial upheaval and stuff that's happening there, whether it's coronavirus, whether it's the economy that's getting ready to happen, whether it's politics. There's so many voices that are saying we should feel this way, we should feel this way. Some of them are even Christian voices that are just opposing each other. In these times, it's so important for us to not be led by this stream or that stream, this pastor, this politician or that politician. We need to hear from the voice of God. And so we're fasting, number one, that we will be able to hear his voice more clear. Second, we are fasting that we would experience a fresh outpouring of his spirit, his power, that would play itself out in more spiritual gifts, understanding our gifts more, particularly tongues. And so this is important because we are not supposed to just have an opinion that's biblical about these times. We're supposed to know our place as the church in these times. What are we supposed to be doing? And if we're supposed to be doing something, we need to be doing it by his spirit. The second thing, so we're going to be doing that from Thursday, tomorrow to Wednesday. And then on Saturday, we're going to be getting together in separate groups to worship. If you're on the group me, please let us know if you're coming. It'll help us get it together more. But before I move on to the messages, I just want to encourage you guys to take part, whether it's the worship and prayer, or whether it's the fast. You can, even if you need to hop on to the fast late, hop on it. And the reason why is, one, it's good for you. But also I want you to understand something. It's very important that you guys understand this. We are not a church because I put a message together and we come up with a name and we meet at a specific time. That's not what makes us a church. Our church, the purpose of our church is to be built on Acts 2:42 through 47, where it talks about day by day, they lived with each other. They were in each other's houses. They shared meals together. The reason why that's so important is because I believe that this whole pandemic has really shown us something. It should show us something in the church. Most of believers that you hear talking about wanting to get back to church, there's this idea that somehow their church has stopped because they no longer can come together on a Sunday. Guys, I want you to know that I expressly rebuke that. We have the opportunity to be together as a church. We don't have the opportunity to be the stereotypical American event-based church. And that's important for us to understand, because most of us, if you come on a Sunday, you may spend some time there. You can spend an hour there, fantastic, and that's good, and we should do that. But we're still not going deep with each other. And here we have, though we may not be able to meet on a Sunday, we have opportunities to come together and be a part of each other's life. If you guys want, like right now, it's completely within your ability and the laws and guidelines of the land for you to have coffee with someone. I've sat down with a few of you guys in the sun at park tables just to be with you guys. Guys, we are the church. We're not the church based on an event. And so my fear is that some of you guys are just holding your breath, waiting until you get back to the next typical American church event, rather than taking these times where say, hey, you know what? We may not be able to meet on a Sunday, but I can have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people over to my house now. That's within the guidelines. That's why we're doing these events, is because people are able to come and hang out. Guys, if we are part of a church, it means that we are called by Jesus to be within this local community and in and out of each other's lives. And one thing that was exposed to me as a pastor and seeing the vision of the church is we were no different than a typical church. No different than a typical church that comes and what everybody considers their church is what they do on a Sunday. when the vision that God has given us is that we will be day in, day out of people's lives. We have the ability to do that right now. Nothing has changed. Don't hold your breath and wait until you can come in and slide into a service and slide back out. Take the opportunity now to be the church. Love on your brothers and sisters in Christ by actually being there for them. You can go meet with someone today. Even if you can't meet with somebody today, you can come to these little events where we can actually be with each other. And so I would encourage you guys to do that. And then lastly, this Sunday's message, you guys know we've been talking about tribulation, we're talking about judgment. I believe Jesus shows us in Matthew 24 that we are a part of tribulation right now. It hasn't happened, it's happening now. And we'll see in Revelation 7 that he calls his church out of the tribulation. We'll talk about that more, but the reason it's important is because right now, while we are in the midst of all of these things, we actually have a message of hope. And that's why I'm so excited to talk to you guys about this. All the tribulation and judgment, that's for us to know what is happening around us. But we're going to be spending the next few weeks going through 1 Peter so we can see what is happening inside of us and what God has given us, why we shouldn't be sunken and worried and pessimistic or afraid, why we should actually be full of joy and hope. This is a message for people who are depressed, who are sad, who are sunken, who are lowly. Jesus has a message of hope for all of us. And so I look forward to giving this message on Sunday, and I look forward to seeing some of you on Saturday. Love you guys. Bye.